Hello, Gary Champion, Psychic Medium, with a video I hope that maybe enlightens today. I'm feeling optimistic about the country. And therefore the rest of the world. Because stuff that happens in this country eventually happens in other countries. Protest here, Black Lives Matter, went to France, went to other countries. Immigration, whatever. But I'm feeling sort of, and the other side says, be optimistic. Why? Because all these crazy things that have sort of come out during the pandemic and the last administration, that's crazy time. But I was completely asleep on white supremacists and neo-Nazis. Same thing. I was asleep on it. We don't see any of that around here. They're there. They're in every city, a certain number of them. They get out in their pickup trucks and drove around with a Confederate flag or pass laws that are anti-people, except for white people. It's kind of interesting. Now we know where they're at. They didn't think about that. The Proud Boys, oh, we're going to stand up and be counted. Yeah, now we got pictures. Now we know exactly who you are. We'll storm the Capitol. Now we know who you are. A lot of you are going to jail. White supremacist, there's one in Montana that lived in a little town with his mother and started a neo-Nazi group and was doing really well during the last administration. And now he can't even get fed in town. Restaurants won't even feed him. So once they've exposed themselves for who they really are, it makes it easy to judge them. Makes it easier to step on them or push them back. So anyway, I'm going to talk some more about that. Here's my little schedule coming up. September the 12th, free readings on the this site, the Gary Champion Psychic Medium YouTube site, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA. September 19th, the very next Sunday, free healing. And we have a good group of healers there we're getting pretty good at it. Same time, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time, USA. September the 26th, well, that's the end of this month, self-healing class, and you have to register for that on my website, www.garychampion.com. You just go to the classes page up at the top and click on it, and there's buttons there to register with. October the 3rd is gallery readings. I asked y'all what you thought. I got a lot of positive responses, so here's your chance to be in a gallery. Someone said it's like Hollywood Squares. Yeah, and I am better on that. I now have figured out the grid and how to get its people on there. Anyway, I'm slow, but all whoever registers will be visible. Before it's a little trouble with that. That's October the 3rd, 2 o'clock Central Standard Time. Gallery readings, virtual gallery readings. Register on my website, www.garychampion.com, and go to classes. This is something really new. Well, the last one was new. I haven't had gallery readings. The last self-healing class we had, I did some gallery readings toward the end. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and everybody had fun. And really didn't want to stop. Just could have done that all afternoon. But I thought, okay, well, I can do gallery readings in a virtual way. Skype. All these are Skype classes. And then another new class, October the 31st, 7 p.m., Halloween night, we're going to do a seance, Halloween seance. Haven't done a seance in a while. I did some 2019, I think, on some of the psychic fairs I went to, and they turned out really well. So this is a virtual October the 31st Halloween seance, 7 p.m. Not 2 o'clock. This one's 7 o'clock p.m. My wife and I have costumes ordered. We're going to dress up, and feel free to dress up for that. That'll make it even better. Not fake, real seance, real spirits, real messages from the other side. I don't know how to do a fake one. I never learned that. So, not fake, not campy. Of course, yeah, the costumes are going to make it a little bit campy, but these are real gallery readings. These seance. And what I'll do is we'll do a meditation, get all relaxed, and then your guides will tell me stuff. Your guides, your relatives who have passed will tell me stuff, and I'll say it out loud. Someone has to claim it, and then we'll go that direction. Interesting, huh? A real seance, not fake. October the 31st, Halloween, 7 p.m. Join us on that, and if it works well, then we'll do it every year. November 7th, change your programming, change your life. Register on the website, www.garychampion.com, and then go to classes page. So that's a long list. That's a long list of classes. September 12th, free reading. September 19th, free healing. September 26th, self-healing class where you learn how to heal yourself. October the 3rd, gallery readings, virtual gallery readings. Register on the website. October 31st, Halloween seance, 7 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time, USA. Register on the website. And November 7th, change your programming, change your life. Okay, so I can continue with what I started with. There's a lot of women's rights stuff on the internet right now. And someone's saying they stirred up a hornet's nest. When I say they say, it's actually a guide here named Judy or Trudy. I'm not sure who she is. But they talk all the time. They usually give me their name. I like to know who they are. Redhead, apparently. Anyway, it's not just here in the United States, but it's sort of been building, you know. Conservatives have been attacking Roe v. Wade, which is the law of the land. It was voted. It's an amendment to the Constitution. You can't change it, but you can peck away at it. And finally, they pecked away too far. And if you're married or if you have girls for friends, you don't really want to make women angry. You don't really want to tell them that you know better what to do than what they know. And then I noticed, you know, of course, our troops have pulled out of Afghanistan. Great concern about the women of Afghanistan because when we were there for 20 years, they had rights. They had reproductive rights. They had job rights. They could be anywhere in the country doing television reporting, and now they're hunting them down. And they've been asked over and over, we're going to keep the rights that women have in Afghanistan. And they say, their response is, well, whatever Islamic law allows, well, that's like saying you have no rights because women are like cattle. Lucky in this country. Lucky in this country and other democracies that because if you live in some of these countries, you don't have the right to vote. You don't have a right to an abortion. You don't have a right to show your face. You don't have a right to run for office. You don't have a right to get a job. It's actually something on the internet where a Muslim woman in this country got a job and relatives beat her up. Can't have a job if you're a Muslim woman. Well, this isn't Muslim land. This is America. So they're going to do some jail time. They're going to do jail time, but the whole time they're going to feel like that they did the right, that they're vindicated in their thoughts, because that's what they know. Anyway, women's rights have become front page news because it's been pecked away at. And finally, here in Texas, we get the vote for the dumbest state in the union this year, maybe last year, but we're definitely the dumbest one this year because they've tried to pass laws that restrict voting. That's the old Jim Crow law from the 60s, where black men had the right to vote, but then they put all these laws in place. You had to be able to read and write. A lot of these guys had never seen a school. Men and women didn't go to school. They were encouraged not to go in an unkind way. They had to know, they had to name the presidents. I doubt that anybody could name the presidents. They had to know a certain, they would just make up arbitrary rules. You have to do this, you have to do that in order to be able to vote. They had the right to vote, but only if you passed these tests. So this is sort of like that. You have the right to vote if you do it the way we tell you to do it. There's a long list of stuff they're trying to restrict, which of course is minorities are the ones going to get lost in the shuffle. They fear the minority. They fear the Mexican. They fear the Cambodian. They fear the Vietnamese. And they fear the black man, that he might actually vote against him. So, restrictive laws. Now they want to mess with women. You know, there's that sign, don't mess with Texas. If you go across the state line, don't mess with Texas women, because now they're out in the street. And it's doubtful that this will, the state Supreme Court here in Texas upheld it, saying it's okay, you can't get an abortion if you're so many weeks pregnant. And these are just putting obstacles in the way of, oh gee, this is interesting. No one should be able to vote on what women do with their body unless they've got a womb, unless they've got a vagina. Unless children come out of your body, what are you doing restrict? You wouldn't like it if they were restricting. Oh, wait a minute. All men must undergo some procedure where they're not able to reproduce. That's what you're telling women. You can reproduce, but you can't undo it. Men, you can have babies, but you can't undo it. A lot of these guys that they don't wear masks, they don't wear condoms, they think they have the right. They're not claiming their babies. Letting somebody else raise them. You and me, the state, really. Where did we get so far wrong? Leave women to women stuff. Don't. Restrictions make people angry. You're a pro-life person. You're a conservative Texas pro-life person. You want to announce that on a T-shirt? If you're so pro-life, how come anybody can carry a concealed weapon now in Texas? No other state, just Texas. If you're really pro-life, why would you give the right to every idiot, every crazy person to carry a gun? You think we're going to see a lot of people shot this year? Oh yeah, it's already happening. But you say you're pro-life, and yet you do that. Here, take a handgun, put it in your pocket. It's legal. You don't even need to pass a test. You don't have to do a shooting range. You don't have to answer questions. You don't have to learn where you can carry a gun, where you can't carry a gun. Here's a gun. Put it in your pocket. You're legal. Pro-life. I don't know where to come down on this. But why? Because it's not my deal. It's a woman's deal. I don't have the right to tell a woman whether to have a child or not have a child, whether economic conditions are so dire that she can't have another one, or whether physically she can't have another child, whether she was raped or had incest and doesn't want the child. Who are we? I don't have a womb. I can't carry a child. So I don't make that decision. So no man has ever made the decision. That unqualifies us for telling women what to do with their bodies. You might as well tell them what face cream to wear, how tight their clothes can be in public. I'm sure that makes a lot of you guys really angry. Look at how tight those pants are. We ought to restrict that, and you could if you would if you could. Women are marvelous because they're women. All women are marvelous because they're women. You want to start passing laws to restrict them? You poked a hornet's nest. They're saying it again. You stuck a stick in there and you knew when you were doing it. The amazing thing is that no Republican in Texas is talking about it. They've gotten a lot of phone calls to do interviews about, what do you think about this new amendment? What do you think about this new law? Only one responded, and he didn't want to talk about it. Why? He's going to lose women's votes. The women are more than half the state in Texas. I don't know, 52% or something of the state is women, not men. White men are becoming the minority. Women and people of color will dominate in the future, and they're scared to death. Stop telling everybody what to do. You can't legislate that. You think because you say, well, women have aborted children since the beginning of time. There's a lot of evidence that the pyramids, the Egyptians did it because they couldn't feed them. They were out of grain. There's no point in having a child if you couldn't feed it. It was going to die anyway. Economic necessity, someone's saying. Economic necessity, pre-existing health condition, rape or incest. Plus, maybe you just don't want another child. Who has the right to tell you that? These are not men's questions. These are not men's questions. These are women's questions, best left to women. And there should be a woman's subcommittee at the courts to decide these things, to talk them over, come to a consensus among women about what women want to do about this, not men. Should be a congressional hearing on the rights of women. And yes, only women can attend, just to discuss it. And the question that keeps coming up in my mind is, how can conservative women vote for a conservative governor or president when he's turning around and restricting your rights? No one's restricting men's rights. You can't go into that bar after 8 o'clock. You got to get home to your children. You can't have sex with your secretary, creating unwanted children, and then pay them to have an abortion, and then turn around and pass a law saying they can't have them. That's actually going on. If I were to put a bounty and a hotline, I give you $1,000 if you can absolutely name a senator or congressman or someone in the government, senator, who has a girlfriend that got pregnant that he paid her to have an abortion. Be a long list. Hypocritical crap. Anyway, I'm ranting. I'm aware of it. But women and children are the lifeblood of this country. They're the lifeblood of this state. And now you've stuck a stick in a hornet's nest. And I hope you like what you're getting, because it's not going to be pretty. You've sealed the doom of your next. You're going to run for office again? Oh, yeah. Let's look at that voting record. Oh, you restricted women. Well, I don't think we're going to vote for you. Stop telling people what to do. These aren't legislative things. These aren't legislative. What was the 14th Amendment gave black people the right to vote? Why did we have to have an amendment to give black people the right to vote if in our Constitution it says all men are created equal? We didn't need it. We passed it to ensure that they could vote, that they could point to something and say it. I think it was 14th Amendment. They already had the right to vote, but they had to pass a law saying so. It makes no sense. All men are created equal. They're men and women. Should be able to vote. Should have the right to vote just because they're born here. Or they're American citizens. And yet they had to pass a law guaranteeing that they could vote. Isn't it weird? Is it just me? So I'm optimistic because all these things that have been festering for decades are now out in the open. And they can deal with them in one way or another. Roe versus Wade is not going away. Sorry. You don't have the votes to undo it. You peck away at it, you make women angry, you're going to be out of office, and you won't be able to pass any more of these stupid laws. Stupid laws. Also, earthquake damage was slight Midwest. I don't know what that means, but I wrote it down earlier in the day. I don't know. I'm not aware of any earthquakes in the Midwest, but someone said that. Okay, now we're into predicting crap. Altered DNA is a cause for concern. I don't know what that means. It's not COVID because COVID doesn't alter DNA. This is drugs. It has to do with the huge amount of drugs we're taking is altering our DNA, and that will change the children that we have in the future. They won't be born with 6 arms, but they'll be different. They'll be deficient and probably have extra things that they don't have now. Interesting, huh? It's almost along that line of those movies that I can't watch because they have to pay for them, those Avenger movies, and where altered DNA made them super beings. Interesting. So we're in the future predicting things. Altered DNA is cause for concern. I don't know if that means, oh no, someone's doing research in labs with rats, altering their DNA to see what they get. Oh, this is interesting. Why would you do that? It's a government-run program, altering the DNA of rats to see what they get. This has to do with probably self-defense and soldiers and things like that. Genetically improving soldiers. Predisposing them to be soldiers by their DNA. We're not running out of soldiers. And they don't need to have their DNA altered. I meet military people out there and about, and they're just some of the nicest people you'll ever want to meet. Anyway, that's future stuff. You'll have to figure it out. I probably won't be here when that happens. I'll be floating on a cloud playing a harp like everybody thinks. I got it, right? Bunny, is my harp tuned up? I don't even have a harp. Anyway, a couple of new classes. The gallery readings, virtual October 3rd, register on the website, and October 31st at the end of the month, Halloween seance, 7 p.m. I'm excited about these. They should be fun. They're on the website. You can register. I'll put them up there. If they don't go, I'll never do them again. Warning you. We don't need a lot of people to do a seance or a gallery or any of this other stuff. Changing your program. self-healing. All these classes don't require a number of people. I think it's been averaging about 12. That's a good number. But for those of you who've been in those classes, I have learned more about how to operate Skype. I'm a little better, so you could take a chance. Someone's playing that song by ABBA, Take a Chance, Take a Chance, Take a Chance on Me. The medium's life is very strange and squirrely. Oh, and ABBA's coming back. They're going to do a new album. They're out there. Isn't that interesting? Oh, 30 years later, they're out. Never give up. Never surrender. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.